Hello, welcome. Men are not the problem. Also, my hair looks chopped, so don't mind it. But men are not the problem. Again, men are not the problem. They are the mirror, okay? We are giving way too much power towards men. It's always the berating, the bashing, they're this, I can't find the good guys. Where are they? They all suck. They're all trash. No, okay? Why are we giving so much energy towards men when we could just be giving that energy towards ourselves, when we could be giving that value and we could be giving that scrutinizing that we do towards ourselves? I never want you, through my channel, my video, my personality, myself, never want you to think that I'm here to berate men. I'm here to belittle men. I think that's so unfortunate, and I feel like I honestly view this objectively. This whole feminism movement where we're constantly saying men suck, men are trash. I don't know if that's the feminism movement, but I've heard this often enough where, I even thought of this, or not thought of this, but I would even say this a little bit ago where I was like constantly just thinking, oh, this, that, and I'm not saying every single man is a saint or an angel. I'm not saying that there are crimes, there are things that are going on in this world, right? And there's a lot of injustice and there's a lot of whatnot, but there always will be. And I think for you and I, we need to agree on the fact that they are not the problem. The reason why you should believe this way, or not even believe, you should think this way, is because when you state something is the problem, when you're giving something externally, let's say anything at all, for example, right? In society, maybe in politics or in your school, in your environment, in your work, whatever it is, when you're giving something else the problem, you're going to become the victim. Okay? When you're giving energy to something else which is out of your control, men are out of your control. Men are out of my control. Every single thing in the world is out of my control except for my thoughts and my actions. Same for you. Every single thing is out of your control. So when you're saying, this is the problem, this is it, they're that, you're literally giving away your control and your power towards men. I know, I don't think you thought of this, but now you do, right? You're giving your control and your power away. And so what you need to do is realize and understand that they are not the problem. The problem is you. I'm sorry to say this, but the problem is you, because you're viewing things this way. You're thinking things this way, okay? Your thoughts create your reality. Your personality creates your personal reality. And it took me a while to realize this, but now it clicks for me, so I want it to click for you. The most important thing, and I will literally say this for the rest of my life, it's the fact that you need to pour into yourself. I have understood the male mind, I think, to the best of my extent thus far. And I've understood how a powerful, strong, independent woman thinks. Thanks to books, thanks to podcasts, thanks to my mother. These people raised me to think this certain way, and I want you to think this way as well. Because when you give the power to yourself and you realize, no, I need to change the way I think. I need to work on myself. I need to level myself up. If you're constantly pouring into a man, chasing after a man, being desperate towards a man, think about the energy you're sending towards them. Of course they're going to use you. Of course they're going to manipulate you. Of course they're going to play into your emotions, act like the dream person, and then cheat on you and do all these things that are so terrible towards you, right? You need to have a sense of self. You need to value yourself and hold yourself in high regards. And how do you do this? You do this through putting effort into yourself. I wasn't always like this. I'll say this, like I've said this many times in this channel, but I'll say it again. Like I was insecure. I didn't put effort into myself. And maybe it was this certain awkward phase that I was in my life, but I could have carried that on. I could have continued with that insecure mindset, but I changed it. How? Because I worked on myself. I put myself together. I literally wear makeup to make myself look a little bit prettier, okay? I value myself in high regards. I know that I've built things. I read, I meditate, I work on myself. I have a business. I'm trying to get a lot of these areas of my life. I'm trying to build them up so that I'm able to be good on my own. I'm able to land on my own feet and be solid on my own. I'm not going to chase a guy. I'm not going to be desperate towards a guy. I have certain things. I have like 10 things that I think of in the back of my mind every time, I haven't been on a date or anything, but like every time I'm gonna go on a date or every time when I interact with someone, I think of these things that I require, you know, and I'm not gonna, if you don't meet those things, bye, okay? So, and I'm not trying, and the way I say bye, or like the way you should say, you know, I'm not interested, just be polite, be respectful. I feel like respect is something that we're greatly lacking, both sides, but maybe even more on women's sides, because here's the thing, okay? I saw this TikTok video of this guy talking about how this girl at the gym wanted him to record her doing some workout session, okay? And he did it, great, moved on. And then guess what happened? He goes on TikTok or some app, I think it was Instagram or TikTok, and he sees himself, like a video of himself recording a girl, and the girl goes, oh, look at this guy, he's so weird, he's recording me, he's doing all these things. Like, a lot of women aren't great, okay? Like, there are a lot of women that are bad, that have malicious intent, okay? I'm not going to stand here and say all women are right. Yes, I love women and I will support women all the time. But if something is morally wrong, if something is unjust, let's view things objectively. I think that's really what we're missing. And that was so incredibly rude. And that was just so distasteful. That's it. Like, that's so morally wrong, okay, to do that to a poor guy, right? Just because he's a guy. That's so unfair. And so I think we really need to view ourselves, pour into ourselves, and remember, whatever it is that we think about the world truly is what you attract. I will state this over and over again. And the reason why I completely believe in this is because of quantum physics or quantum mechanics. It's a study of physics. So it's science, right? And essentially, the more I've studied quantum physics and the more I'm trying to understand, like, in mathematics itself, dude, math is really cool, okay? Look into like geometry, look into the Fibonacci sequence or the Fibonacci spiral. Like, watch videos on this. Like, this is kind of side note, but honestly, based on what I know about quantum physics, it really is like the science-backed explanation to manifestation. It's very cool, but that's besides the point. I think overall, we need to understand that, one, not all men are great and not all men are worth your time. Reject them politely. If they ask you out on a date, just say no thank you. Okay? And I know some of them they're not going to accept that. Just say you have a boyfriend, move on, just ignore them. Women, we are emotional creatures. Okay? We think from our emotions. We value things from our emotions, and that's beautiful. That's amazing. I love that. But we're giving our emotions and our energy away to the wrong person who doesn't respect us, who makes us feel worse, who doesn't pour into us as much as we do to them. And so it's important for you to have certain boundaries and have certain requirements in order for you to pour your heart to a guy. Why are you pouring your heart to someone who doesn't deserve it? Right? I'm not saying all men are great. Again, I'm not trying to just say, oh, men are amazing, they're great. All I'm saying is there are great men out there. There are a specific type of men that are amazing and great, okay? Maybe it's not every single guy, but there are a lot of good people out there. And you need to have that recognition, or like you need to have the awareness of that. And also, you need to remember that it's not going to be every single person. Therefore, pour into yourself so that you know who that person is. Like, you can recognize a great person in your life. And I know this is kind of cliche and you've probably heard this a lot of times, but the amount of love you have for yourself is what you're going to accept from someone else. So I completely love myself, and I love who I am, and I love how much, obviously I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm evolving, but right now I can proudly say that I do love how I am, and I love myself. And so if a guy just comes into my life and, doesn't give me the love that I give myself, you're not going to be in my life, because why? What's the point, right? For me, in a relationship, it's like to evolve, it's to grow, it's to have someone who supports you and someone who's going to help you get to the next level, and you can help them in return. It's a building each other up, okay? And if you don't even know how to build yourself up, if you don't even know how to land on your own feet, if you're not able to support yourself financially, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all of this, a guy is not going to be a superhero to save you. Okay, maybe in some situations there are, because again, there are really good men out there. But for a lot of us, for you, it might not happen. So, and you shouldn't rely on that to happen. Why are we relying on men, okay? Our ancestors have worked so hard to give us this opportunity to literally do whatever it is that we want. We live in one of the best days, the best generation ever to do whatever you want, okay? You as a woman have complete freedom. All right, complete freedom, at least in Western countries, okay? I know it's not every single place in the world, but if you're viewing this and you live, I mean, if you have a phone and you're able to get educated, like, you have a lot of resources and a lot of opportunities, okay? Don't forget that. And so now you need to pour and focus into yourself. And the reason why I'm so incredibly passionate about this is because I've seen it a lot of times in real life, you know, in like online, in the online space. And I think I have a unique perspective on this just because I've never had any relationships, none of that with guys, right? Like, I've been and I think it's partly because of how awkward I was, and I was kind of like a little ugly, a little weird, a little shy, introverted. And also the way I was raised, my mom raised me, I think, and my dad too, but like my mom really ingrained it in my head to develop myself. And it's funny, like I'd go into like 11th grade or 10th grade with like a little mustache and like unibrow, whatever. I never groomed myself properly. I never knew how to because my mom didn't care. She never taught me. And I think at first, you know, when I finally like started to take care of myself better, I was kind of like upset with my mom because I told her, I was like, why did you let me walk into high school with a unibrow? But she was like, well, you're going to discover it yourself in your own time. And that was the best thing that she could have ever done for me, because I think because of the fact that I was kind of weird and introverted and all that, I never got any attention from guys. And so like and also I was a nerd, not like a academic great nerd, but I was like a reader. Like, I'd love to just read. I just didn't read all the time. And, you know, I'll get into my whole backstory in another video, but essentially I've never had any experiences. And I think it might be a little surprising for some people, but it's like, there are a lot of us out here, and I'm so interested in like learning about the male mind and like the high value women. I don't like the term that much because of the way it's been used, but I really love learning about that. And I've learned so much through books, like the two books, I'll put them right here. He's Just Not That Into You and The Power of the Pussy. These two books, phenomenal. If you're a woman, read these two books. And so I've read books like these. I've tried to, like, I watch self-improvement videos by guys, and there are some guys that I follow in this space that I'm really intrigued to see how they think and how they value things. And it's just interesting. I guess I have fun with it. So that's why I'm so passionate about this, is because I think I have an objective perspective, like an actual objective perspective as a grown woman, I guess, even though I'm only 20. But yeah, I think it's the best thing I've ever done in my entire life, is literally pour into myself. And for those of you that maybe have different backgrounds, or maybe you've had relationships in the past, maybe you are in a relationship, I want you to really see things objectively for yourself and listen to what I'm telling you, because when you value yourself and when you really pour into yourself and you put yourself first, you focus on looking put together, you focus on being eloquent with the way you speak, you're respectful, have manners, please. Like, I don't care which guy comes up to me. I've had homeless people talk to me sometimes. I'm not going to shoo them away. Obviously, I'm not going to interact in a long conversation, but I'll just smile politely and I'll say, excuse me, and I'll walk away. I'm not going to record them. I'm not going to do weird things with them. I think that's so disrespectful and so inhumane. Let's be human beings and decent human beings, please, okay? And when I say men are the mirror, the interactions that I have with guys are great, you know, like, obviously I'm not on dates or anything, but like when I'm walking, like, people hold the door for me, you know, people move out of my way when I'm walking, and I like how I look. So I think people appreciate that as well. So you see how I personally haven't had any terrible interactions, because I view the world and I view things as there are good guys in the world, there are amazing men in the world. I'm developing myself, but I'm going to get someone who's amazing. I'm going to get a partner who's going to respect me and love me. That's my mindset. I'm not kidding you. That's my mindset. And it took me a while to develop this as I grew into myself and I grew into a lot of certain things. But I think we're kind of forgetting like nature and the essence of masculine and feminine, and, you know, how men in nature are like, they're the go-getters. They're the ones that should chase. They're the ones that should try to get you and win you down and like win you over. And women, we value ourselves. We hold ourselves in high regards. The way we carry ourselves should be like, yeah, you know, she loves herself. She's confident. And here's the thing, this is something that you choose to do and build. It's a choice. Like I said, again, I wasn't born like this. I wasn't like this 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I took the time to put effort into myself. It's like a series of, it's like a timeline. You first start out with reading books and really understanding what it means to maybe make money or what it means to develop a certain type of skill. And then you start putting yourself together and you start to groom yourself. You start to make yourself look a little bit more pretty and you like what you see in the mirror, right? And then you develop this confidence where you hold yourself in high regards and you walk like, you walk like you're on a runway. It's my biggest thing is like walk like you're on a runway, strut, shift your hips when you're walking as a woman, right? Carry yourself in that way. And then you dress better. You dress in a classy, sophisticated, chic way. At least that's my personal style. And then over time, like you get your finances met, you get your emotional needs met through taking care of yourself, going to the gym, going to yoga, traveling, hanging out with your girlfriends, doing all of these sorts of things. And then you slowly over time, as you're developing yourself, you're so valuable as a woman, right? Like, and when you develop yourself, you're even more valuable. You're already valuable to begin with. You're incredibly valuable. I don't think anyone's ever told you this, but you're so incredibly valuable just as you are right now. But when you develop yourself, and I'm not just saying this for the male gaze, I'm saying this for you, okay? I don't care about the male gaze. Like, you shouldn't be desperate to do certain things or be a certain type of way just so you can get a man. Do this for yourself. Fill yourself whole. Try to make yourself complete as much as you can every day. And the reason why I'm so passionate about this is because it's a choice, okay? It's a choice for you to make. Every day you choose yourself. What did I do this morning? I did some yoga. I had some nice matcha. I'm gonna have some breakfast. I put myself together. Maybe I'm gonna go on a walk. If you have a job, I don't have a job right now currently, but I'm back home. But if you have a job, wake up an hour earlier, get your steps in, put yourself together, groom yourself. You have time for that, right? Everywhere I go in public, I try my best to at least look put together, okay? The very bare minimum is like making myself look put together. And then after that, it's a bunch of other things that I can do, but like just look put together, look clean, look polished as much as you can. It's not for anyone else but you. And yeah, my hair looks a little off. I got it cut a couple days ago and I wanted like half an inch, but the lady gave me like 4 inches off. But again, I did have a lot of split ends, so I cut the dead weight off, I guess. That's kind of how I'm going to view it. I did have a mental breakdown a little bit, but I got back up and I was like, you know what? We keep on pushing. We push through. We keep on pushing. So yeah, obviously I can make a lot more videos on this topic, and I think overall it's just the fact that we're just not aligned completely. And I'm trying to do so much in terms of like researching what it means to really be aligned within yourself as a woman. And I discovered womb meditation, which I'll link that too. And it's essentially when you focus on your womb, which is like in your stomach area, basically where a baby grows, right? It's not just about like fertility in terms of growing a child or having a baby. It's really about creation, and it's about creating things, whether it's a business, whether it's a project or anything in your life, whatever it is that you're creating, a new body, I don't care, anything at all. When you draw more power and attention and you think from your womb, it's so like you feel so aligned. Like ever since I did the womb meditation, I feel so aligned within myself. And it's so beautiful because when you're unaligned in life, everything feels shifty and off. But when you're aligned, then it feels like you're on the right path and you just feel so grounded and you feel so good. My camera died, but that's all I have for this one. I'm definitely going to make more videos on this topic just to share everything that I've learned and I'm learning right now. But yeah, I think that's all. I'm going to leave it for now. The overall thing is men are not the issue. They're not the problem. Okay. They're the mirror of your problems and your issues, and whatever type of guy you attract in your life is essentially not just attract. Okay. There are a lot of guys that I attract in my life too. All right. But the guys that you let into your life, the guys that you give your time and energy to, the guys you befriend, the guys you turn into your boyfriends. Okay. That's your problem. That's your issue. Have a list of things that you require every single guy to have. And obviously, let's be kind of realistic, okay? And let's just have our main aspects. Like my 10, like I think Okay, 10 is a good amount to have, like, yeah, a guy can meet at least 8 of them, okay? So have that list, and every time you have a potential person, a potential partner, don't think from emotions. Think from that list. Does he meet these things? And then, if he does, give him more chances to prove himself to you. I have more videos on this. I'm gonna make more videos at least on this as well, but there's so much I can share, but that's all I have to say for this one. I hope this got you at least aware of this perspective of, okay, guys are not the problem. Let's not blame them. They're kind of victims. They're actually, a lot of them are victims in so many situations. So let's just pour into ourselves as much as we possibly can. Draw and focus and attention into yourself. When you do this, game over. You're the winner. Bye. Love you.